Good morning, traders. I think we're live in YouTube now. We are actually coming live from our trading room. So good morning to all the YouTube viewers. If you can hear me, can one of our traders check to see if this sound and everything is good over there? And you can tell me in this chat. All our traders are in our room. Just a quick reminder to all of you. This is an impromptu thing to YouTube. I've invited the people from Discord, the group from Discord. Some of them will come. I put them the message an hour ago, so hopefully we can get some of them in here as well. Okay, good morning to everybody. We're going to quickly do two things. We're going to quickly go through all the trades that we took for this week, trades we're taking now. I'll give you those trade setups. If you wait a few seconds, you will get to ask questions at the end of this session. So I'll go through our trades like 15, 20 minutes. I'll give you time to ask questions or look at trades you want me to look at for the next 10 minutes. And I think in 25, 30, 40 minutes, we should be finished. First, give me 1 minute to remind all of you of the special offer we're doing. If you join the installment program now, you're not paying for the whole course. We will be doing a live training course this month, end of this month or next month. This month is ending, so early next month, we'll start a live training course with a lot of practical sessions in there. If you can afford to join the course full, send me a Skype message. The Skype will be in the description. I can also give you my Skype here. It's MANGAL457. Send me a message. Download Skype. Type this name in. Send me a message. I'll give you all the details of how you can join. For the installment traders, the offer is this. Normally, it's $100 a month. That money goes towards paying for the course. Now, one trader told me, said that will take too long for me to get in the course. Well, then you can pay $300 a month. Some traders are paying $500 a month, depending on the size of your account and how much money you can afford to pay, right? What that gives you, it will give you access to the live trading sessions that we do in the London and the New York session. That is this one that we're doing right now and the one we're going to do in the New York session. But those of you who wanted to join, the offer of pay $100 and we'll give you 2 months to make that decision, end in 5 days. So you have 5 days to make the payment. If you make your payment within 5 days, we will allow you to make first payment and you will not make the second payment until 2 months. Now, I know that's time for you. That time is to give you enough time to make your decision that you really want to join the course. And I'm hoping that you'll pay out for the full course after that. And you'll join us in the trading room and you'll get access to everything. But even if you're a struggling trader and you really want to understand what we do in the trading room, it's like actually me giving you free access to the trading room for 2 months for a cup of coffee a day. Bring me a cup of coffee, basically. That's all it's going to cost you. If you never, ever join again, that's all it's going to cost you. Now, join and see what we do live, and you'll get. So first, I'm going to go through the trades we're looking for right now, and then we're also going to look at trades that we took this week, so you can see what we did. So let's start with the dollar index. If you watch my past weekly outlook, you know that we tell you this is very likely a consolidation for upside. And I think it was in this range and it started to drop a little. So some of you probably looked at that and said, oh, no, they got it all wrong, right? It's probably going to drop. And I don't know what he says it's going to go up. Well, when this happened, you probably look back and said, oh, wait a second. What the heck is going on here now, right? Well, this is what you call consolidation. And as long as we are still in this, we're still consolidating. So if you couldn't figure out what's happening in there, you should join us. You definitely should join us because we figured out what's happening in there. I could also tell you that we think that this could probably come back to the bottom here. And the reason for that is that I'm looking at this as mostly, this is the consolidation. This is an up move. This is an up move. Come back here for one and then go. Here's the thing. If this comes pretty deep into here, it might even break this low. It will still go back up. At least there's an 85% chance of that happening and then drop. Because if it comes to this low, it's no longer going up. It is going to go down. So that's one of the updates I want to give you. When you look at the consolidation, the range of that consolidation will tell you whether you're consolidating for upside or you're consolidating for this downside. At this point, we were consolidating for upside. It came here, it went up. If it comes back to this level and it does this, we're consolidating for a downside, but it will have to go back up first and then come down. Now, this is the normal way a pattern would behave. What that means? That means we have seen this specific pattern in the past like 1,000 times or more. So if it behaves exactly that way, we know what the outcome is going to be. Right? That's what I'm saying to you, that we have seen this pattern, and that's why we understand why all these movements are happening, because this had happened in the past, almost similar to what it's doing right now. And when we see that, we tend to do pretty accurate forecasts as to what is happening in the chart, what the market is doing, and what the market will likely do. Right? Because this pattern is created by the action of the markets, which means all the participants, whether they're speculating, whether they're manipulating, whether they're actually working or trading or whatever the heck they're doing, is creating a specific pattern. And that specific pattern has a specific outcome. So right now, we're not in the sell. We looked at that. We weighed the decision for the sell, and we decided it might not be a good idea. But if it makes a flag here now, then we will decide to sell it. We'll come to the low. And once it gets here, we're expecting to buy it to the upside. Now, it can break this low and probably even break that low. So that is, if I get a flag here, then I'll go for the sell. This morning, that flag wasn't looking so good. You notice there isn't a sharp impulse into it. So we assumed that it could go lower because there was a very small flag here. But with that small flag, you wouldn't know how far it would go. So the risk of taking that trade was much higher. Now, if it makes a flag, that is good. As of now, it's still a buy. So literally, as of now, we could expect this to take off. And this would be a trade. So I would show you the trades we have. I'm going to go through the majors pretty quick. Silver, it's a buy setup. Silver is a short-term buy setup, which means we think silver might just come to about this level and then drop, because we're looking at this as a possible running flat. If we're right about that, this is the trade we'll get, and we'll probably come out for a small profit to break even. If we're wrong, it's going to take off like a rocket. So this is where you want to be wrong about the patterns. But it's unlikely. The trade we took on silver yesterday was this trade. We sold this one for this move to come and break this low. So that was a good trade yesterday. Well, let's hope today we get this. And if this takes off, good. I don't think it will. We'll get this trade, and we'll definitely get this sell. So either today we get the sell or tomorrow we get the sell. Most likely it's going to be a flat here. Gold pretty much is a good sell as it stands right now. We might cancel that sell. For my traders, remember what I said, if this comes up a little higher than that, we will cancel the sell because this becomes a flat. It will come back one more here, but the chances are it will tag you here and then go one more up. Now, if that happens, we will relook at this pattern and we will go with the contracting flat in here. Right? If this one makes a flat, like silver is making a flat right now, this turns out to be a flat that spiked to the upside. Right? If this turns out to be a flat that spiked out here, we will go with the contracting flat. We'll get 1, 2, 3, and then still downside. And so I think we should cancel this sell we had here. The sell was for this morning when this was coming down, and if it gets bigger, it's too risky. So we'll take the sell off. And this is how we make decisions and trade as well. We look at the structure, we decide whether the structure has a good trade. If it has a good trade, we take it. If there's no good trade, well, then you just closed it. Simple as that. That was a sell setup this morning that I don't like anymore because we're probably making a flat here. You can see this one, and you can see this is going up a little more here. So that creates a flat pattern there. Now this will come down, but the chances are it's going to tag you here and then go. Can I change the, we're looking for a buy now to this distance. When it comes here and start to go back, we'll try to get a flag here for the buy, because buying it above the top there is a bad idea. Right? But when it comes down again, if it starts to go up and make a flag, we will buy it. Can we change that to a sell again, let's say by New York session? Absolutely. For that to happen, this would have to drop beyond these lows and actually consolidate here, which means this is a flat as we think it is, but that flat is not actually for upside. That's just a big flat at the top of the impulse that will actually drop here. And now we will sell this one. We will go with this big picture as the contracting flat. Right? So in that whole thing, we're going to have 2 contracting flats. See? So when you make these analysis and you look at it from this point of view, the way we look at it, you start to understand what it can do. That's the power of knowledge. You tend to understand what it can actually do. And based on what it can do, would help you to make the decision what you should do. If you're just putting entries, orders on and stop loss on because you don't know what it's going to do, and there is no other method that tells you what it's going to do. All other methods said, here is the support, Here is where you put your entry. This is where you put the stop. Wait until it breaks the support or don't break the support. Right? What it can do further when it starts to move is not being defined by support and resistance. No other method beside wave analysis actually defines what the chart is actually doing. Right? What we're looking is patterns and what it's doing. This is the only method that defines movement and what it's doing. Not just here is a pin bar, sell the pin bar and hope it goes. Right? This is totally different. The whole idea of how you trade is understanding what the chart is going to do. So you're trading with a very, very good understanding of what's happening. So what we're going to do now is we're going to expect it to come here and then go back up. Any flag under here would be a sell. Euro. Euro we sold yesterday twice. This was the first sell, close. This was the second sell. And now it's pulling back. We were looking for a sell here. This sell is no longer valid because it's moved quite a lot to the high side. Not that we're not looking for the sell, but we wouldn't be selling it from that point. Most likely we'll try to get a flag on the way down here. If we don't get a flag, we'll put the entry here. It's still valid and we're expecting it to drop to this level and then probably go back up. So if you looked at the webinar I did on Monday, Euro was doing this. And I was like, we're looking for a sell from there to come down, and then it went up some more. Well, it's still within the consolidation. So even if you missed any buys in that, you wait for the sells, and then from here, you'll take the buys to the upside. Now, could it go back all the way to the top and then come down? Yeah, that's possible. It could stay here. We might get a more expand. We might even relook at this and say, well, what if this here is the running flat? What if this is the running flat and this one is trying to go up to the top and then come back? Let's just, for the sake of argument, say that, okay, this and this is a running flat and we're going to go retest the top and then come back here. Can we buy it? Well, you'll have to wait for this to consolidate here. And if it does consolidate, we'll take a trade here, retest this top, and then downside here before it goes. See? But unless I get that, it's a sell setup, which means if it starts to go down, make a flag, we'll sell it. Now, remember, dollar index looks like a possible running flat, which can go down lower, which means euro can end up going back to the top. So just keep that in mind. And that is how, when we're in the trading room, a number of times a day, we relook at this structure and said, okay, what is this structure doing right now? So the sell would be either a flag, it's still a sell setup. Now it would be waiting for a flag to sell, or wait for a flag to buy. So you can put that as both ways, which means we're expecting, when you see this, we're expecting directions, both directions to happen. Pong, we're not expecting this to go back up, so I'll definitely be looking for a sell setup in this. There's no structure whereby we think this could go back up. That doesn't mean it can go there. It means that at the moment, the pattern we're looking at is not showing us that possibility. If that pattern changes, if structurally changes, we'll see. And we'll relook at the structure and see what it's doing. But as of now, I think this is going to drop. Now, can this stay here for a long time before it drops? Yes, this pullback is pretty deep into that one. So we'll wait for it to come, take a flag, and then go for it. If they stay here too long, well, then we'll see. We'll close the trade and see if they're still in the consolidation for one more up. That is possible. But right now, we're expecting this to drop. And then when it drops to this level, we'll see two things. Is it going to come all the way to the bottom here and then go back up? Or is it just going to make a flat here, which means it will probably just come here and go right back up? Both of those are possible, depending on how you look at this correction. I'm more inclined to believe they're going to come here and then go. So we will track it. We'll see whether those are trade setups and whether we get those trades. We're not trying to get one trade to go down there. We already sold it yesterday and closed the trade. So yesterday, the trade was to sell this one, close the trade at the bottom. Now we're looking for another sell. Let's see if we get a flag to go down. So we'll put this as waiting for a flag as well. You can leave the entry order here. The entry order is still valid if they drop suddenly. But it looks like we're making a big one like this. And then it's going to drop. So if you make a big one here, we'll have to get it from the top so that we get a risk to reward in the trade. Aussie. I think there's no question here. Aussie for two consecutive webinars, and for the last 2 weeks, I've been telling you we're going to be selling Aussie. It's going to break out of this structure and it's going down, which means every sell setup you get, you take. Aussie is not going to pull back. I don't think it's going to pull back. I think most likely, even if the dollar index goes down, Aussie will probably just go in a sideways mode. More consolidation. It's not going to go back to the top. Now, the only way this could go back to the top is after breaking this low, which means it could come here and then go back up. I'm not expecting that to happen. Normally, with a big consolidation like that and an impulse like this, you're likely going to tag the low before you go back up. So there's a good chance we're completing this daily pattern with a running flat in the middle. All right, we're completing this, which means this one is going to come back, break this low, and then we'll start to go back up for this one. And it all depends on how low that is going to go. So all we have to do now that we're breaking out of the consolidation is sell every flag we get. We already sold it a number of times. We've been selling Aussie for every flag we get from every top we're selling. So that is the range. Take that out. Take this out, and we look for another sell setup. Any consolidate, there is no sell setup here, but let it consolidate. So when this consolidates, some of my traders might be in the trade. They probably already closed that. Wait for this consolidation and we sell. New Zealand, you probably don't want to sell it. And the reason is because New Zealand is not moving very fast. It's literally just going up, and I come back here and maybe drop again and then come back to the top here, make this flat, and then probably drop. So if we get this sharp move up and we manage to get a buy setup like that, we'll take that trade to the upside. And then definitely the sell become interesting. But structurally, this one does not have to go down a lot. I showed you the daily structure in the Aussie. Let me show you the daily structure in this one. You'll see why this doesn't have to go down quite a lot. See, this one already tagged the low of the impulse. So literally, this was the first impulse on the New Zealand. Just like I showed you on the Aussie. The Aussies has a much bigger impulse. It's making a big running flat in the middle here. This one just came down here. And very likely it's just going to go back up to the top. Because we are already coming off this one. You're probably going to make a correction and maybe a little more down like this. It could stay here for a very long time and then just take off. So on the big picture, the sells in here are not, not showing good big move to the downside. You can still sell it. You're selling for 20, 30, 40 pips. You can still sell if you get a good risk to reward trade. But a good risk to reward trade will not be at the bottom of the consolidation. It should be from the top. So it will be like this dropping. So if we go back to the top and it starts to drop, that is its risk. Going up to the upside for this move will give us a risk to reward trade. We don't have that. So we have the sell setup because it's a setup, but most traders would not be in the trade. Yen doesn't have anything as yet. It's still consolidating. We leave it, both sides possible, which means that consolidation could give you, we're in the middle of this, right? This is the move up, this is the move down, this is the move up, and this is the core consolidation. So when that is finished, you're going to get a move down, you're going to get a move up. So we might as well wait because this piece still looks like it can go a little more up. And then we're going to get this trade and that trade. So it's just going sideways. We'll figure it out. Each trade that we get, that one went and then it just stopped doing anything. So we're not trading into the moment. CAD looks like we'll have to accept the contracting flat in here, unless this becomes a much more complex pattern. And by that, I mean, it comes all the way to the top here, make this the flat and still come back here. Right, and then go. As of now, we're treating it as a contracting flat. Right, so we're assuming that this here is a contracting flat and we're totally going up. Look for buy setups. You're getting a flag right now and it's in the 1 hour, so that should be a good trade setup right now for me. Actually, this is a good one. We can change it to an active trade right now. So we can change from a trade setup to an active buy. This morning, it was at the top. We wanted it to come down back before we put the entry order in. And now we can put the entry order. So now that's an active trade. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to put an active trade like that, you may say, well, where is the stop? By rule, the stop should be here, but this is a pretty big stop. So you're not going to put a big stop like that because then you'll have to get a big move like that to get risk to reward in it. What we can do is we can wait for this to come out, make a small flag, and then take the trade. So you'd allow this to fall here, probably stay here for a while. I don't think they're coming out. This is pretty sharp, which means we're going to be in this. We could even come much deeper than that. I would prefer if they come deeper, because if they come deeper, we'll get the trade from this point going up. We'll take the trade from here, we'll put a stop here, and we'll get that trade. If they stay at the top here, if it stays here and consolidate here, then we will have to wait for it to come up, make a small flag, take this flag, put a stop here, and go for that trade. So you get risk to reward in the trade. We're still trading this very correction with this impulse. We're just tweaking the entrance on the trade and where we will exit if it doesn't go, so that we get better risk to reward in the trade. Swiss, yeah, we have a buy setup. You can put it to the bottom here. It doesn't matter. You just go with a smaller lot size. It's going to break this top. We're assuming if they go, they're going to break that top. That's the trade. It's in a sideways move, right? So If we get a better entry in here, which means if it comes lower and give us a better entry, that'd be okay. This thing is moving really slow. Now the up moves were sharp, so the hope is that if you get it, it's going to make a sharp move up and good for us. If it doesn't, then you just stay with the trade for a while and close it. All right, so we'll go with that. Those are the trades on the majors. Now we have a lot of trades setups and the crosses. You can see them. All these are trade setups that we're waiting for. So you can see what the trade setups are. If I go through all of that now, that'll be way too long for you. So what I can do, I'm going to do some cryptos. I know a lot of you want all of these are trade setups. This one I think is an active trade we're looking for right now. This is an active trade for a buy. See that? That's an active buy setup there for this. Where we expect that to go? Well, we'll expect them to come and break this top. We'll see if it meets that much. It's still in this down move, right? So once it gets to the top there, you'll get it to break even. Which if this actually comes here and break out now, it comes here, you get that trade to break even. The idea is that it should break out and break this top. And then you take profit. Then you go for profit. What if it comes lower? What if this comes up without breaking, without tagging you? Let's say this comes much lower, right? I don't think we're tagged in that as yet. So if this comes much lower into here, well, then it's probably going to go back up. We'll take off this and we'll look for the sell. All right, so that would become a sell setup rather than a buy setup. As of now, it's a buy setup. All right. Good. So that one. Somebody is asking if I trade Swiss yen. We trade everything you see here. And you see the Swiss yen here, that means we trade it. We're looking for a sell setup here. By the way, yesterday we sold the Swiss yen. Some of my traders might have taken that trade from this one. You see that line? They're taking it from there, coming. And the reason we're looking at this is also because it's at a very, very top. See that? That's a really good trade. So here's how that trade would be amazing. You're breaking a weekly top, coming down. This is a flag. That's a perfect trade setup. Win, lost, or break even, that's a perfect trade setup. First thing you want to do is you want to exclude this one. See that sharp move? You want it to drop like this, because then it can go back up. That would be a running flat. If that's not a running flat, for whatever reason, let's assume this was the running flat. Let's say that was the running flat. That's possible. I don't think it is, but it's possible. Let's say that was a running flat. We got this one wrong, and that's a running flat. This is just going to continue to drop. Now, you're not going to get all of this in a single trade, but you will have the sense of direction it's going. So you can go to the 1 hour, and that's an active sell, by the way. Yeah, we can put that as an active sell because it came back to the top. This morning, it wasn't there. You can put this as an active sell. I don't think it's going to break out right now. I think we'll consolidate more into this. But as it stands right now, that's an active sell trade for us. You would want to put the stop above this stop as of now. If it goes deeper, we will look for a different entry. Because I don't think you will get a flag, a smaller flag here. But if you get a smaller flag, it'll just make the trade more interesting. Right? So that is it. So I told you guys we're going to give you some time for Q&A. Quick reminder, if you want to have these live sessions, just as I'm doing it right now with probably more details and your possibility, your chance of asking questions and looking at trades that you trade, join us. You know how to do that. Send me a Skype message and we'll do that. Questions, any questions you guys have, we'll take. My traders can ask questions too. I'm watching the thing here. If you want me to look at any specific chart you're in, any trades, anything, we'll go to it. While you guys are posting your questions, and so I'll do Bitcoin for you because everybody wants Bitcoin. So yesterday I put the call for the buy on Bitcoin here. I think one of my traders asked the question. I was like, buy it here, right? Buy Bitcoin there, put a stop here, and let's see when it makes one spike, take profit. Right, take profit because it could go back down. Now, will this be the start of the upside? Let's see in the big picture if that is possible. It's possible, but I don't think this one will drop, will go up. I think they might drop again. There's a good chance that you see that there's a sharp wave there. They're probably be looking at a running flat, right? What you're going to do now is very simple. If it makes a flag here, you buy again. If it starts to drop, it will make a flag here. You can sell to come back to about this level first and then probably even lower. But this is the first area where I'll watch it. And it has nothing to do with anything you might think. It's simple that it might be equal to this. That's all. There's no magic. It doesn't have to be equal, but it gives you a sense of where you want to look at that thing if it's coming down and it's going to turn, because that will give you a running flat here. Right? There is no moving average. There is no support and resistance. There is no trend line there. Nothing is there. It's just that if they're going to make an equal move like that, equal corrective move like that, correction down, that's an impulse to go back up, we'll look at that as a running flat. plus minus above it, below it, doesn't matter. That's just to give you an idea. When it stops, we'll wait for it to make the setup before we take the trade. Right? You never jump into the trade, even though you think it's going to. This is where it's going to turn from. You don't go into the trade unless you see the setup. Right? When we get the setup, then we go into trade. What is DAX doing? Let's go take a look at DAX. If you guys want any other traders, so let me, well, it kind of correct down. So you have a short-term sell again if you want. They're not going very far, but you can take them. Yesterday was the same thing. You had that one, you had this one. You're getting another one here. So you can take them one short drop if you can get risk the reward out of it, take it. We're just going back into this and we didn't break the top. So I think we might be making some kind of a flat here, before they go. So there's that possibility to keep your eyes on it. You can take short trades, very short trades, and get in, get out quick. I'd go see what's the best entry you can get from it. It's a perfect flat. See if what the best entry you can get where you can use to stop it. Go for it. If you have to double the risk, it's worth it. ETH, let's see that. What is ETH doing? Okay, this also had a spike, but this one is, you got to be careful. This looks more downside than upside because see all these consolidation here. It's possible that we're making a running flat here. There's a very strong probability that this could be some kind of a running flat with this. Right, that possibility exists. And then we keep dropping. Right, if that's a running flat, you can see that this probably will drop more. And do I think this will drop in the bigger picture of things? Yeah, we think it will drop. Now, can this consolidation get much bigger before it drops? That's also possible. So if that is a consolidation, you're looking for a sell setup to come back to the bottom, right? What if it is not? Then I think the only thing you're going to be looking for is deeper correction, not a reversal. So what you can do is you can wait. You can take this off. It's useless right now. Just to show you what I think could happen. If this stays as a consolidation at the top there, which means instead of going down, you keep getting this, go for the buy. At least one more spike is in play. And then you'll see what happens from there, right? Try to get out if it doesn't go very far. If it comes down here and it gives you a sell setup or under the low, you could get a sell, depends on which way you get the sell setup. You can go for a sell for one more move down, right? We will see which one it does and then we'll put the trade on. Right now, it looks like a buy setup. It still looks like a buy, but because of that running flat, and you have the running flat and a few more. XRP has it, for example, right? And this one is much more clear, right? You got this move, you got that one, you came back. So one of our traders took that trade, closed it for break even. It dropped it, doing the same thing here. It's going, this would probably go back up there. This could come back here and go back there, and then you'll get a flat for downside. But every time it comes to the top now, you can look for a sell setup because it's literally confirming the flat pattern for downside, right? Where would this go in the bigger picture to the downside? Well, remember we told you, right? Look at these consolidations, right? So this one is not going to go immediately. They'll probably stay here for a long time and then drop. First thing you want to do is you want to exclude this possibility, right? You want to exclude it coming here and then going back up. But it's coming all the way to the bottom. So if you get sell setups, go for it. What are the chances they break the low and then go back up? Well, I think that's what they're going to do. Break the low and then go back up. This trade was on YouTube, right? Telling you that, okay, once you break out of this, you're going to that top. So let's see. This looks more downside, probably break the low and then go back up. So right now it's looking more downside too. Anything else you guys want to look at? NASDAQ, NAS 100, I think that's this one here, the NASDAQ. Let's look at this. We didn't put the buy setup on this, or did we? I know we put it in the S&P 500. We didn't put it in this as yet because we didn't have enough consolidation, but now you're getting consolidation. Yeah, see, we have it, wait for consolidation. So now it's consolidating. And now you can decide you might want to put the entry. I still think I'll wait for more consolidation because this is my trade is if it makes a couple more hours here, we want it to come down, right? And then put the entry. That's a buy setup. So we can go with it. The same thing as S&P 500. You probably want to let it go deeper so you get a better entry from a much lower point than to get the entry, get the buy from there. And then wait for it to come and break back, at least back to this stop. Right, we're in that sideways move. I think this will make it easy for you, right? You're looking at that. That's a sideways move we're in, right? And we're coming into that move from this direction. So you kind of do this, you do this, and you're bottom of this one. So the chance of going up is pretty high. So now you wait for this, and then you go for that. And if you're lucky, it breaks out. I don't think it will break out. I can tell you what I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna come here. It's gonna come here, make a deep pull back here, and then go there, and then come back here. So this trade might just be one impulse, take your profit. NIO, one of my traders asking. I'm looking at two chat at the same time. The chat on Facebook and the chat on. If you hear me answering to a question that you can't see on your chat, it's on the other chat. Because this is our live trading room we're in. I'm just coming live to YouTube from the trading room itself, right? So this is not a special live one. This is we impromptu decide to as a matter of fact, I just did this to remind you guys that you have 5 days more to take up that special offer. If you pay within the next 5 days, you will have 2 months to make your decision, right? That's the main reason we came live. I'll be honest with you, that's why we came live. Remind you that if you would like to have these type of sessions every day, twice a day, and you're still going to get a recording if you miss. You get the full daily recording of everything if you should miss any of the sessions, right? So let's go look at this. NIO. Let me see what is that. I have no idea what that is. Okay, I think the top one you're looking for, right? So I'll go with that. I looked at this for somebody. I'm pretty sure, and I told them this would come and break the low. That's why I have the line there. If you see me have a line, it has a reason, right? So I can tell you immediately. I actually looked at this twice. The first time I looked at this chart was here. See that flag for the upside? Isn't that amazing? Who's the person? I have to send them my bank account so they can send me some money. Right? This was the first time I looked at that chart for somebody, and this would have been their second trade. See how wave analysis is amazing? I have no idea what this is. I even forget I looked at it until I looked at the chart and I was like, yeah, this looks great. You won that trade. That was when? Wow, that was since 2020. That's 3 years back since we forecast this first move up. Correction, go for the next one. Well, now we're going down. So let's see. It's downside. You broke the low already, and then you start looking for buy setup. So I think the only reason I put a low like that is I was telling traders when it breaks that low, start to look for buy setup. Let's see if that's true. Let's see if the buy setups will come in. Well, that is if this thing is ever going to survive, right? Once it breaks the low, you can start to look for buy setups. You don't buy it. You go look for buy setups, which means if there's a setup, take the trade, because even if it makes a correction upwards, you will get good risk to reward in the trade. Right? It make one spike and go down back. You get out of the trade. Don't stay with it. Well, you had a correction here. You kind of go back up, you drop, you kind of go back up, you drop, you kind of go back up, you drop. Well, wait for them to go up, make a flag, and then go with that. Well, not a flag, a correction. And then go then, considering I'm on the 1 hour now, right? Let them make a correction and then go with the buy. It make one spike, take profit. Wait for another one. So I hope that helps. Somebody want POL 20. Okay, AMD. I think we have AMD already. I remember looking at that. Let me see if I can find it here very quick. Okay, we may have to add it. We would look at some of these special charts because the traders are invited from the traders I invited from the Discord group. I told them they can ask questions, so we'll go with that. Okay, you're gonna get a really good sell setup here coming. I think this is pretty clear. You're kind of in this one, but it's going higher. You can put it like this. I would be careful for possible running flat here as well. Let's see in the 1 hour what it looks like. It could be all the correction. It could be a running flat. I'll be careful of this piece here when it comes like this for a possible running flat, one more up and then drop. See? Because there's a correction in the middle here and all of them are pretty sharp. So it could go back up one more from there. That is just showing you the size. So if I'm going to sell it, what I would want is I want this to come a little more and start to make a flat correction like that. Starting making something like this. I'd see this one or this one, make something like this and then sell it. So if it's going to keep dropping, you wait for that and you sell all the way back to the bottom. If we're going to go back up, they'll have to break out of this, make a flag here, and then go one more up like that to break this top. So you have like this, break out of this, see they make a flag here, take that trade, take this trade, go to the top, take profit. Wait for the next one. So you might get 1 or 2 trades to the top there. If it's going to drop, same thing. You can take 1 trade to the downside and put the break even and leave it. Big picture is downside though. If it goes back to the top, it still will go down because you can see that it literally look like they're trying to go down in this one. How deep that consolidation will go before they go down? Well, this could come here, it could come back, it could probably go, it could come back, it could probably go, and then come here. So you could trade it both ways. Right? We can look at the pattern each separately to tell you where each one is going to go. That way you'll be pretty okay. Safe. Okay, let's go. What else? I think this one was with the AMD. Somebody want P. Let me see that. Let's go with this one. POL. POL 20. That's the Polish futures. Nope. Something else, some kind of futures, but not that one, right? Ah, it's the Polish futures. Okay. Oh, tell me I'm in the right place. Because this is what I get. I might have got the wrong one. No, wrong place. So let's go back and see what is it. Let me just take this off. What's the code on workplace? This is what I'm getting. That's not the right one. You have to give me the code for sorry, not workplace. The code for trading view. Right, so if I get you, if you have it, the trading view, you'll know WI, or you don't use trading view. WIG20. Let's see this. Okay, is this the chart? Okay, good. So great. Let's go in the weekly, see what it looks like. It's a nice chart, actually. You can make an argument for a complete running flat here, or part of a running flat, depending on how you look at it. You can make an argument for that, which means this could come down here. If it's part of a running flat, we're still in the sideways, which means it can do anything. It can go back there, come here, but eventually it's going to come down. So let's see on the daily where we are on that structure. And the daily looks like you're going back up. You've dropped. We didn't break the low, by the way. This is interesting. You didn't break the low. And you're getting a pullback already. Normally, they broke the low before they go. So this one, you see this broke the low. It actually even break. I think we broke this low also. So that could be pretty much this trying to go down. Let's see in the 1 hour what it looks like. 1 hour, it's upside. Right, this trade is this deep correction here also give you this, and you're getting a correction here for 1 more upside at least. So it depends on how you trade this. It's an investment. If you're trading it as an investment, I would let it go back to the top and then sell. Right, if you're an investment trader, just let it come back to this top here and then sell. It's going up. The only time this changes to the downside, and even if it's coming down, this would have to come like this. Go back here, and if you see that flat, then you can decide that this is the selling point for the downside. Right? If you're buying this, there's no buy setup as yet, unless you buy it in a 1 hour for small trades to the upside to get there. So in terms of upside, it's very small trades. In terms of downside, there's a bigger drop to come when it gets back to the top. Okay, I hope that helps. Somebody wants, okay, let's see. Somebody wants APT USD. Let's go USDT. Let's see that one. APT USDT. Okay, and then we will go back to trades. My traders, if there's any active trade happening right now, we would want to look at it so we can remind everybody and get those trades. Swiss is we have an insured in the Swiss. We have an entry order on the CAD, and they're going in opposite direction. That means the Swiss yen should go down. Maybe Czech yen is doing nothing. CAD yen should probably move too. So look at CAD yen, look at Swiss yen, look at the yen pairs. You might get good trades in them as well. And let's see this. I think I might have this somewhere because it's okay. I don't think we can do this. We put it here. I put it in the 1 hour. I'm not sure about that wick if it's right or not and where it came from. So you would have to decide if the wick doesn't exist. And if that doesn't exist, then the chart comes from the bottom. I'll assume it came from here. I'll assume that doesn't exist. You'll have to tell me. It came here, and then it does this, go there, and you're coming down. Like all crypto, you're pretty much, this is a sell setup. Literally, that's a sell setup for downside. Right, so that could come somewhere. You're seeing that it's consolidating there, and you're thinking, well, if that consolidation break, where would it go? So you can put this here. And if they break out of that consolidation, it could be downside. Can they go up higher? Yeah, they can just do this and, and then drop here. Right, they can do that. We'll still be in this. Right, we'll still be in that. We might even still be in this one, basically. But right now, this is looking downside. So you can wait for a sell setup. You have a setup, you just have to put an entry order to sell if you want. Okay, so I hope that helped. Let's go. Somebody asked if you missed the US 30. I didn't think we would look at the US 30. I didn't think we do that. We have an entry order, just so you join, we have an entry order for a buy here. That's on the 1 hour. We have an entry order for a buy here. I think so, yeah, we can put that entry order for a buy. And this one, we don't have any entry order for a buy. This one, we were selling it yesterday, not from here, but it broke the low we sold from, and this is still a sell setup. Strangely enough, this is still a sell setup. So you probably wanted to go up a little more. Don't sell it now because this flat is in, we didn't break this top. So literally I wanted to go back up and then we look for a sell setup here, the downside. And this doesn't look like the rest of them. It's not doing exactly the same thing. Now, I don't like to sell it in structures like these, literally structures like these. I don't like to sell at the bottom of the structure. So I would probably not sell it, although we have a sell setup. I would wait for it to break the low, turn, go back up, give me a buy setup, and then go for the trade. Back to the top of this. So although you have a sell setup, the downside might be very, very limited, which means you'll have to get out really fast. And if you don't see that possibility, right? Can it drop? I don't know, it dropped 50, 100, $1,000. Yeah, it could probably drop. But structurally, the way I'm looking at it, that's not going to happen because it's not been happening. So nowhere in this that's showing you it's going to happen. Now you could still take the trade. All you have to do is how you're going to manage a trade. And that's what we show you, right? Trade management, how you're going to get out of that trade if it doesn't go. Right? What is the long-term structure for S&P 500? Right now, it still looks upside. Depends on how long-term structure you want. You're from the hedge fund that invested a lot in S&P 500. If you want, just contact me directly. I'll give you my bank account number and we'll make business happen. Right? The long-term structure is upside on this one right now. Right? At least depends how long-term. Like I said, the chances are this will go break that up, and it can go. So you're in this sideways move. And the sideways move in the bigger picture is you're coming down, but you're now in the sideways. So sideways this is the low of that down move. You would look at this two ways. If that was all the correction, we'd be doing this. If we're doing this, it means we will probably do this for a while and then come back here. And for a while, I mean for a couple of years. So we could be ranging in this thing for a very long time. Literally for a very long time. This one happened when? That was October 22. Will soon be a year, so it'll be a couple of years. A couple of years in there. Tesla. Let's see Tesla what it's doing. Nope, structurally nothing. We're still in the flag. We're still in this. Right? So if it's consolidating for downside. If it's consolidating for downside, we're still in this one. So we can come back and retest that low. And when we retest the low, start looking for this one. Can it do this and do this and do this and then go? Yeah, well, it's not going to go to minus. I don't think so. But can it drop a lot? Yeah. You know when it started to drop? When it's at the top there and we tell you it's starting to drop. Right? When we saw that coming down on the consolidation. So right now it's still down. I wouldn't bet on this going up so quick. Because right now this still looks more downside than upside. We don't have a buy setup in it. If structurally it comes and start to go back up and we get a buy setup, then we'll assume that this is the low of that correction. And now it's starting that upside. But right now it's still downside. That downside possibility is strong. Let's go. What else we have? Like 1 year plus. 1 year plus, you'll still be in that correction. That's the answer to the S&P 500 question. You'll still be in that sideways because it's not making an impulse to the upside. If it was making an impulse, we'd assume that was all the correction. But what you're saying is that it's making a much larger correction. Any changes that we did the Tesla structure? Okay, let's go to my group now. What you guys are Sol USDT. Okay, we can look at that. We have that on. I'm pretty sure we do. Anybody, you guys trading cryptos? You want any more cryptos? Short-term downside. See this one here? If that stays like that and break, we're coming to retest this low. So you're going to get something like 1, 2, 3, and very likely you're going to be going back up. Now, that is a simple pattern. If you follow us daily, you might see that pattern change, right? Because they don't make simple patterns in this thing. I'm pretty sure that this will get very, very complex before they go back up. But here's the interesting thing about this. See, this is the low. We came back pretty close to the low. And we're not going back to that low. We're consolidating at the top range of this low. So even if this comes back here and go back there and come back here, or go back there even, this upside is looking really good. At least one more impulse like this is in play to about 50, 60. And maybe even another one and more upside. Who says they don't do this? And who says we don't do something like this? See this move here? See that move up there? And then this kind of consolidation that happened there. And then look what happened. So we're getting a similar consolidation here. Who says we can't do that? That's possible. So keep your eyes open for the buy setup when you get to the bottom of the structure. Right now, it's showing you a short-term sell. Right, this looks like a short-term sell to retest this low. And after that, the buy becomes really interesting. As soon as you get a setup, you go for the buy. So I don't think we're going back up there. I don't see any buy setup. So I think they'll probably come here first and then go. Just track this structure, how that develops, and then we'll know. If it goes higher, start to make a flag, you'll buy. So this is what you do. If this starts to go up higher than this and make a flag here, then you'd assume they're retesting the top and then come here. But I don't see that happening. Right now, it looks like this is more of a running flat for downside. Okay, hope that helps. What else? We can take a few more questions and then we'll call it a day. We're long enough. So last reminder to all of you, if you like what you just got and you'd like to have it twice daily, send me a Skype message now. So I'll see all the Skype messages coming in now. Could you take a look at silver in the weekly? We have some huge investors in here. I can tell that from the questions. Everybody wants the weekly charts. So there's some really, really huge investor. Depends on what you're looking at. So this is how you read the charts, right? Right now, silver is coming downwards. It's on the shorter term. Now this downward, depending on how it comes. If it comes like this, we will go to test the top. If it starts to come really fast, we're coming to retest this low. And then we're going to go back up. So if this here stays here long enough, then we're going to go there. You join the group, you will see which direction it goes. If it crawls down and we see that it starts to drop like this, right? If it starts to drop like that, then we're coming to retest this low and then go back up. You're going to get like a 1, 2, 3. So this one doesn't look very impulsive. So if you ask me, my opinion, there's a higher probability for downside than for upside. Probability. That's not a trade. And for the guy who the last time said, hey, if you think this thing is going to drop, why don't you sell your house and go sell it? Which I think was the XRP, right? And I said there's a 90% chance this thing is going to go down. We were in this consolidation. It was going up a little. This one was going up a little here. And he was like, if you think it's going to go down, why don't you go all in? That guy in the room, by the way, let's see if he has enough courage. You're in the room. If you're in the room, you can identify yourself and say, hey, me, remember I challenged you to send me your Skype so I'll show you that it's going down? Well, it happened. I think it's the same guy from the Bitcoin. He keeps making the same mistake, right? So he wants to know how I know it's going to drop. Well, this is how we know it's going to drop. And guess what? It still looks like it can drop. Literally, it still looks like it can drop. So if you listen to me, he said he's an investor, and I showed him the thing. If you sold here, Pang Yen, okay, I didn't see that, Vic. I'll go to the Pang Yen. Oh, I don't see the message in the Pang Yen. Strange. Am I not seeing all the messages on YouTube? That's strange. I'll go to the Pang Yen. I told him if you sell here, even if you're an investor and you have $500,000 in it, why not sell it here and put an entry to buy back there? And if it drops, well, you can literally buy back right now. So this would be profit, right? So you sold it at how much? At 54, and you're buying back at 47. I think if you're an investor, that's a lot of money. So send me a message now, but now you're going to send me the message to get my bank account so you can send me some of that money, right? Okay, let's go. What is the Pang Yen somebody wants? Let's go. Sorry, I didn't see that Pang Yen message, and I still don't see it. That's strange. So I'm not seeing all the messages in YouTube. Let's go Pang Yen. We're looking for this short term. Short term, this might go up, but we're in this big cluster here, so it's not going to take off like really fast. Once it breaks the top, you got to be careful. So short term, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Look for a buy setup from here on the 1 hour upside. See, wait for a buy setup here. Wait for a flag. Take the trade to the top, and from there, this is sharp. This is sharp. This is sharp. It's not going to break out now. Right? The only way we will change the buy setup. First thing, you don't have a buy setup. You'll have to wait for this to make a flag or pull back for a running flat, and then you go for that trade. Right? See this one, and this one would have been something like this. Right? So we don't have a setup for a buy. Can it change into a sell setup, which we wouldn't probably be selling, is if this starts to consolidate here. Then this would become a sell setup. I'm not sure I'll be selling this. I'll be selling the Swiss yen, and I'll be selling the euro yen. There's a reason why we're selling those 2 yen. We actually sold the euro yen already, and we have an entry in the euro yen. I can show you guys that one. And there's a good reason why we're selling euro yen, not Swiss yen. We sold the euro yen yesterday, and we're selling it again today. The reason is because we're the weekly top. See that? That's a weekly top. You want to see what the bigger picture looks like? So if there's going to be any big surprise, it's going to be like this, coming down this way. There would not be a big surprise like that. There'll be a big surprise like this. Now, you're not going to get such a big surprise, but if there's going to be a big one, it should be the downside. So sell setup. We're still looking to sell this again today. It's kind of pulling back. We expect that this morning. We expect this to go up. We even calculate how many pips whether we should take the trade. Probably we should have. Well, we'll wait for a pullback now. And I don't think it's going to drop now. There's a good chance you might make another consolidation here and then go back up, and we'll get something like this before we sell. New York session, that would be a sell. Okay, what other trades? Pang Yen, we got that. Could you check DAX, please? We checked DAX already, but we'll check it again. I assume you just came in. I'll do it very quick. We're looking for a sell setup, DAX. Yep, it's already a sell. By the way, if you took the trade, it just happened, right? Because somebody just asked me, and I was like, yeah, you could take these small trades here. And one of my trader asked me, right? That was a couple of minutes ago. Oh, you could take that small trade. Boom. You can take profit and send me some. Right? You don't have to take profit right now, but you get the point. This actually just happened. The 4-hour and the daily is still sideways on the pound yen. It's literally sideways. It's in a big range and it's at the top of the range. It's not going anywhere. So we're at the top of a daily sideways structure on the 4-hour structure to the same. They're about the same. Okay, so somebody just made a lot of profit. Who was it? Come on, let me see who asked for the. Well, you know who to collect money from now? Somebody asked for that in my room. So, Marcin asked for it. She's in the group. I think he's one of the installment traders. So, good job. See, he just made some money. Let's go. Okay, you're in the short DAX. Good, well done. But be careful. We didn't break the top, right? So if you're in the group already, you would know that, right? We didn't break the top. So there's a good chance that when you come here, start going back up. Manage to trade well. So okay, guys, anything else? Let's go. Bitcoin, you're a bit late. We did Bitcoin already. Bitcoin, we had a buy yesterday. Let me finish Bitcoin for you. I'll end with Bitcoin for you guys. If you have more questions, join us. We'll take the questions in the New York session. If you send me now, you'll get in the New York session with us. Send me a Skype message. So let's look at Bitcoin for you now. Oh, wrong one, sorry. I just did, that's really good. Live happening, so you can see how wave analysis works. All right, Bitcoin, this was the buy. We're getting consolidation. Two things, two possibilities. It stays here and you buy. It drop, make a flag, you can sell. It's in a downtrend. We can't confirm the upside as yet, but we can take trades. See, they make sharp spike and they drop. They make sharp spike and they drop. So if you get a sell setup, you can take it short term. If you can sell, of course. Some people can short it on their broker. I think they have that opportunity to do that. So anything else? Let's go. Sandeep, I think you're in the group. You can get the HK50 from the group, my friend. Yes, let's go. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. I think I have HK50 somewhere here. Let me see. I'll just put it on and do it very quick. You have any good trades here? Okay, this one was an all thing, but it dropped from there. You're pretty much going down. It's pulling back for more downside. I think that's more of a pullback right now. Because we're trying to break this low. Wait for a flat or something here and then try to get a trade to the downside. If this is going to go up, it has to break out, make a correction. So if you're going to go out, you'll want to break out of this, make a correction, and then go, right? We don't have any correction. We just have a pullback. So if it starts to drop, any flag you can sell. It's more of a sell for downside right now. So okay, guys, I think that's enough. We will close there today because everybody wants another trade. We looked at them. Big picture for the pound yen. I told you it's a daily, it's sideways. The daily is sideways, the 4-hour is sideways. It's at the top of a big sideways move. A really big sideways move. So it wouldn't change if I show you the chart. If you have the chart open, you can literally see it. It's at the top of a big move. Let me go pound yen. Daily. See? This is the big sideways move, but this is the one you're looking at, and we're at the top of it. Right? You're at the top of this structure here. Did that help you? I doubt that helped you because you have no idea what it's going to do next. I just showed you there's the top of that structure, but you have no idea what that can do. So showing you does not make thing. You have to understand what each piece of that structure is doing and what the next possible move is going to be, and that will help you. If you understand the wave analysis and you understand, like, okay, what's the next 1 hour move? What's the next 4-hour move? What's the next daily move? And then you can understand how it's changing. Because even if I tell you it's going to go up, that could change in the next 2 hours, which means it could go up. Yeah, it will probably just break this top and then start to drop. or break the top and literally get all the way to this top. Structurally, that's normal. Both of those in this structure is possible. So when we're trading on the possible move, wait for confirmation, take the trade, manage the trade. So look at it this way. I'm going to close this way for everyone. Do the analysis, wait for confirmation, use good money management, use a good strategy, get in the trade, manage the trade. Not because you get in the trade, even if you have the best analysis, not because you get in the trade, it's going to go your way. The money management will not protect any given trade. It will protect your entire account from being blown up. That's why you use good money management, so that you don't blow up your account. Right? That's the purpose of money management. For your account to grow, you have to do good trade management. If you're not doing trade management, then nobody out there is teaching trade management except when I started it. Some of them might be doing it now. Is that what do you do with a trade if you're in and it's not going? Think of an investor. You're Warren Buffett and you bought some of this company's stock, and you're stuck with the stock and it's not going anywhere. You're not really losing a lot of money, but 3 years pass and you're not making anything. I think he would review the stock, he would review the company, and he would decide, you know what? Let's bail out. There's no future in this. Right? Or you may say, well, let's stick around with it. And that's what we do with trade management. We do that in 60 minutes. We look at it, we're in the trade, 60 minutes, 1 hour pass, 2 hour share price is not going anywhere. Hey, is it still going to go? Should we still stay with it or should we bail out? And if we bail out, should we get back in? And if we get back in, where we should get back in? See? That is what will help you. Whether you're an investor or whether you're a trader, you still have to do the same thing. Except if you're a small investor, I don't think you're Warren Buffett, you wouldn't be here, right? So if you're a small investor like the guy on the crypto, what you do is you do the same thing. You exit the trade, you sell all your cryptos, and you buy them back lower. And that make you money. That is all he had to do, was say, okay, great. I'm going to sell, but I'm going to go and buy back lower. So now he can buy back at the price they are now, and he'd be pretty doing well. He'd be doing very well. Right? He would have already made profit. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys. Thank you for joining. See all of you. Hope to see all of you by London, New York session if you send me a Skype message now. Take care, trade with care. Bye.